I want to call him Nomar. I keep wanting to call him Nomar. I'm like, are we sure this guy didn't play for the Red Sox? If you are loving our new look and like, look, we're filling up the whole screen now. We're coming at you. It is because of Riverside. This is now the recording platform that we are using. It is so easy. It is so fun. So many of you guys asked us to come to you in 1080p. You wanted to count every pore and freckle. Here they are. Or you can just bask in our beauty even more. Riverside is so easy to use, and it allows you to record video and podcast audio or both. I've been using both, and it's been a lot of fun. So take a look down below in the description for a link to find out how you can get started with them. They have various plans to suit your needs, and I'm really, really glad that I found them. I would like to begin with happy news, but unfortunately I have sad news, and that is that Loretta Lynn has died.
Yes, at the age of 90.
90, legend, died at her ranch in Tennessee. And I cannot even begin to tell you how many times I saw the movie Coal Miner's Daughter as a little girl, and how much it meant to me, and how like I've loved her music ever since. And I've loved just the no nonsense, no bullshit fearlessness, and like the truth that she wrote about, but with humor behind the edge. And I would like to go back and revisit Coal Miner's Daughter for some reason, but I can't even do it with you as was it great or were you eight? Because clearly it's great. Like, it's the gold standard for music biopics, right? Like all the things that were cliches by the time Walk Hard came around.
Sure.
Like, you know, the going around to the radio stations and the montage of the song going up the charts and the highs and the lows and the drugs and the cheating.
She was inventing that stuff. So yeah,
completely.
For sure. Sissy SpaceX Academy Award, by the way.
Right. And that got nominated for like 6 other things, like Best Picture, you know, Best Screenplay. In 1980, it was in 1981, it was a serious award contender. So very deserved Best Actress Oscar for Sissy Spacek. Box office this weekend, Bros did not do great, despite the fact that it has awesome reviews. You and I raved about it. We've gotten so many great comments from folks saying, "Oh, I loved it. I cried. I laughed." It only made $4.8 million, and Billy Eichner is blaming the straights.
I mean, I get it. I understand. It's got to be frustrating to be in that position. I mean, there's been so much Monday morning quarterbacking about why Bros didn't do better. The marketing, you know, focused too much on it being the first, you know, big studio LGBTQ rom-com, which made it sound like it was going to be homework, or people didn't like the trailer. Something that I remembered, I had to go back and Google this. It was originally scheduled to open in mid-August.
That would have made a difference.
And then when Mission Impossible 7 vacated September 30th, Universal was like, aha, we're going to take it because there's no other big releases that day. I think staying in August would have helped because that's a really good period for Judd Apatow movies. If you look back at stuff like 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, a lot of those movies opened at the end of summer, and it was sort of like the last big summer movie before those kind of like late August, Labor Day doldrums. And I think that might have been a better time to release this movie. But again, you know, it's all speculation. It's all 2020 hindsight. But the thing not to get lost in all this is that Bros is a really funny movie, and it's a really good romantic comedy, and whatever, you know, glass ceilings it is shattering and whatever first things that it can claim to be, at the end of the day, what matters is that it's a fun movie and people should see it.
I hope it has legs, and I hope that word of mouth eventually carries it, and I hope that it maybe shows up on Peacock, right?
It will absolutely show up on Peacock, and as the New York Times pointed out, it will do better on Peacock having had this even unsuccessful theatrical release just because of the push and the marketing and the everything that you get with a theatrical release than had it just been unleashed into the world of streaming with a million other things. So, you know, again, so often when we talk about the movies that we love, the movies that stay with us, they weren't hits, you know, at the time. Like, they did not open all that well. And so this is a chapter in the saga of this movie, but I mean, like, Bros is not over. It just, you know, is going to be a movie that maybe didn't find its audience in the opening weekend, but over time absolutely will, and will become a movie that people reference and think back on fondly in a lot of different ways.
The flip side of this is that Smile did great. Smile outperformed, made $22 million. And I think you can point to the things that quote unquote went wrong with Bros going right with Smile. Like the marketing was incredible. The simplicity of that image, the fact that they had people doing the fucking Smile in baseball games, like behind home plate doing the Smile. Like, what is that? And it's October, you know, people want to go see scary movies now.
Absolutely. It is the time of year to release that kind of movie, and they did so very well. I don't know how much of the Bros audience Smile pulled away, but I do think a good chunk of the Bros audience stayed home and watched Hocus Pocus 2 on Disney+. Just a theory.
And both are very R in different ways.
Absolutely.
The new Wakanda Forever trailer is out. We have sort of a teaser before we have more of an actual trailer out. I know you didn't watch it, so I will just tell you about it a little bit.
Namor?
Namor. Is it Namor?
I don't know. Maybe.
Namor. I want to call him Nomar. I keep wanting to call him Nomar. I'm like, are we sure this guy didn't play for the Red Sox?
You kept wanting to call the Star Wars show Argon, so you need to have that looked at.
I am confused. So that is coming out that he is the winged underwater god. Is he friends with Aquaman? Is that possible?
Separate companies, but he's kind of the Aquaman of Marvel, except that he's always, because he's pissed off at the surface world, and why shouldn't he be? He has kind of had one foot in hero and one foot in villain, which is also how they're trying to market Black Adam. So I guess this is the moment where from both of the big, superhero purveyors, we're getting these kind of anti-hero heroes. But yeah, Namor is the Prince of Atlantis in the comics, but I think they're calling his undersea kingdom something else in the MCU. But yeah, and if we ever get a new MCU Fantastic Four, he and Sue Richards have kind of a thing going on. So
interesting. So there's that, and then you get more of a look at who is now wearing the Black Panther costume. We still don't know who it is, but it looks like more of a female shape to try to narrow that down. So my money is on Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita already knows how to fight.
And she's the most free agenty of them, in that she's always been sort of been like a spy or whatever. So yeah, why not?
Right. And tickets are already on sale. The movie comes out November 11th. Can we talk about this whole stupid Lizzo flute fiasco?
Oh God. This is like such a perfect example of like right-wing outrage.
So
and
dumb.
The thing is, like, Lizzo is a classically trained flautist, and in fact, like, this James Madison flute, which I guarantee you nobody who is mad about this had any idea existed until this thing happened, I saw this whole long explanation how like the current flute is like a 7-hole with a thumb and the bleh, and how this was the old traditional kind, which is the 6 and like, not, you can't just hand that thing to anybody and they're going to know what to do with it. It's like somebody said, it's like taking some 16th century stringed instrument and giving it to a guitarist. But the fact that Lizzo could play it and knew how to play it, like, is reason enough why she should be allowed to, because she is a classically trained flautist. She is also a Black woman of size. And that, I think, for a lot of people is how dare she, James Madison's flute.
And she twerked while she was playing it, which was freaking adorable. The fact that she is like so accomplished that she could like flute and twerk at the same time.
Yes. That's a feature, not a bug. What are we complaining about?
It's just like transparent culture war nonsense, but I couldn't let the week go by without hearing your thoughts on this. You saw RRR in IMAX last week. What was that like?
So Beyond Fest here in Los Angeles, which is co-sponsored by American Cinematheque, and they do a lot of different kinds of genre cinema, they hosted the first, apparently, North American IMAX screening of RRR. It was released in IMAX in India. It did not get that. We did not get that option over here. It was a packed house. It was like 900 people.
Great.
SS Rajamouli was there. He did a
cool.
Q&A afterwards with our friend Amy Nicholson and with Paul Scheer from the Unspooled podcast. I have seen like phone video of audiences in India watching this movie, and this seemed real close to that level of just audience frenzy and delight and thrill and enthusiasm and interactivity. People were doing the Natu dance in front of the screen at
That's
the Chinese.
hard.
Yes. I don't know how well they were doing it, but they were doing it. You know?
They were moved to get up and dance.
Exactly. So it like, you know, when people will occasionally ask, like, what's the best sort of theatrical experience you've ever had where like the audience and all the things kind of came together? This, for sure, like a top 5 for me.
That's great.
Like the last screening I went to at the Chinese that had that level of enthusiasm and wildness was opening night of Grindhouse.
Oh.
The cast and crews were there. Eli Roth came out and introduced the movie. It was a
fun.
whole thing. But yeah, this was off the charts. And that movie just it never gets any less exciting. And to see it huge on IMAX was breathtaking.
Another thing that I know you're really excited about is Falling for Christmas, which should also be in IMAX 3D.
Why not?
This sounds like a parody of what the Netflix algorithm would come up with. It's like, I love the plot. The plot alone sounds like a fake Christmas movie. Like Lindsay Lohan is a spoiled hotel heiress who goes to a ski resort and bumps her head and gets amnesia and forgets who she is. And she falls for the hunky single dad with a precocious little girl. And
yes,
like
played by Cord Overstreet. Oh, look.
They know what they're doing here, clearly.
They absolutely know what they're doing. I mean, like Hallmark and all the people who want to be Hallmark love a formula. Like no one is tuning into these for shocking reveals. They want to go in and you know in the first 30 seconds exactly what you're getting here. So yeah, this is clearly like Overboard for Christmas, and I'm here for it.
Oh my God, this is her first
movie. They announced
movie.
it on October 3rd, appropriately enough, for, you know, you Mean Girls fans out there.
It's Mean Girls Day. Yeah, this is her first movie in a long time. So I would like Lindsay Lohan to find success again.
I have always been Team Lindsay. I think that she's incredibly talented, and she got dealt a cruddy hand in a lot of ways when she was very young, and it would delight me to have her bounce back.
I agree. Do you see this Kim Kardashian story?
Yes.
This is so dumb. Okay, so Kim Kardashian, in all caps on her Instagram, promoted this crypto.
And on Fallon too, right?
She did it there too? Okay.
I think,
it was all caps on her Instagram to like tens of millions of people. And then like didn't disclose how much she had been paid to promote it. So now she has to pay the SEC. They've been busy, the SEC. Yes. She has to pay them $1.25 million as like a fine or whatever. But the amount that she actually got paid to do the ad was only $250,000 only. I mean,
a mere
comparatively compared to the amount she now has to shell out. You see that the Saturday Night Live parody of the Nicole Kidman AMC ad.
I did. We have come full circle. I think the AMC ad wasn't really a cultural phenomenon until we got the Chloe Fineman impersonation of Nicole Kidman doing it. It was pretty good, I thought.
We come to AMC theaters to laugh, to cry.
Oh, God, no.
You know, I really wanted to like it because I love that whole phenomenon. It's my cover photo on my Twitter account. But like all they did was just go through the motions of having her until the very end where it goes crazy. Like she's wearing the same sparkly jumpsuit and she's saying the same words and she's in the same exact theater. She's standing in the same place. And I don't know. It felt all rote to me.
I mean, Chloe Fineman, one of the things that I think that's really funny that she does is not just that she impersonates people really well, but that she knows how to do a lot of actressy indicating. So when she's doing Nicole, like laughing or crying or being moved, she's like doing it in this very performative kind of way so that we know how Nicole Kidman feels about these things, which I thought was kind of a funny, like, how do we take this thing that is already ludicrous and then kick it up a notch?
I take it seriously. I don't think it's ludicrous that heartbreak feels good in a place like this. And then Sacheen Littlefeather died.
Yes.
We just talked about her recently because the Academy finally apologized to her for the way she was treated when she stood up for Marlon Brando at the Oscars in 1973, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so she died of... She has suffered from a variety of cancers for years.
Oh, wow. Poor thing.
Yeah, she'd had breast cancer, and then in recent years, it had gone into her lungs. So it has been a rough go for her. She was 75 years old.